life-size Pickle Rick.
Is it life-size? I think that's...
I think pickle size, right?
You know what's amazing about this is that it's actually life-size for a pickle. Hey, this is Dan Harmon, and here are the most viral Rick and Morty moments, or Rick and Morments.
Turn myself into a pickle, Morty! Boom! Big reveal, I'm a pickle. What do you think about that? I turned myself into a pickle! I'm Pickle Rick!
I remember being in the writer's room, and I remember someone saying Rick turns himself into a pickle. I do just remember kind of immediately leaping on it and saying, well, because that sounds like such a dumb, innocuous thing, like, why would Rick do that? And the answer has to be the most complex thing. The concept for the episode really is the entire first act, as opposed to an idea like Morty makes a robot. The idea of Pickle Rick really was everything that you see in at least the first 10 minutes of the Pickle Rick episode. The way I was thinking about it was like the RV breaks down in the desert episode of Breaking Bad. These cool episodes where you take an icon and you say, well, what makes them tick on the inside? And you do that by depriving them of everything. And then you learn so much more about them. Pickle Rick is it's very emblematic of what I love the most about Rick and Morty, because my partnership with Justin gives me this really fun license to go, yeah, like, let's take this really dumb thing incredibly seriously. It's like a really freeing thing. He just retains his innocence about stuff. Like, he just likes what he likes, and he just has these thoughts that are crazy and childish, and treating that as if it's as important as a nuclear power plant is like my favorite activity. Only at the very end of putting the script together realized that there was only one reference to Rick's drinking in the entire episode, even though the idea of being pickled and the actual metaphor itself is like, that episode is so much about alcoholism, and yet it's the only episode of Rick and Morty where the words alcohol or references to booze are completely gone, because I noticed that right at the end and pulled the one reference to him being an alcoholic out, so that it's like this pure metaphor.
Oh, crap, that sun is bright. Okay, come on. This can't really be the way I go out. This is the mega genius equivalent of dying on the toilet.
The fan reaction to Pickle Rick, I'll always have a fraud complex about, because we teased it at Comic-Con, and everybody that loves Rick and Morty knows that you have to wait really, really, really long periods of time to like Rick and Morty. So I don't know if we cheated by showing a clip of Pickle Rick as an animatic at Comic-Con, and then if you love Rick and Morty, all you could do was think about Pickle Rick for like a year. Maybe that's cheating. I don't know. So it's like then the episode happens and it's like, Pickle Rick. Like, as long as it didn't suck that episode, it was going to be a hit, maybe. But that's what writers do to themselves. They try to figure out why they suck. The courtroom transcript.
I'm finding you in contempt of court.
I don't care.
I know you don't. And I sentence you to 20 days for that. And if you say anything else, I'm gonna add 20 days for everything you say.
You.
40 days.
You again.
60.
Go yourself.
A year.
Your mama.
10 years.
Suck my
You know something? This is gonna be an interesting trial.
I woke up one day and checked my phone. I think it might have been a guy that works at my animation studio, Starburns, had dropped into a group text this transcript that had gone viral already, just the transcript of this crazy court case. So when I got to work, it was the only thing I was thinking about. I wanted to impart to everyone how insane it was, and then that turned into two writers reading it out loud. And as we were reading it out loud to the writer's room, I think that's when Justin walked in. Justin's enthusiasm for that thing just took over, and that was that's the only thing I ever had to do, was be fascinated with that thing as a text message.
Aggravated assault, terroristic threats, and we'll just add to it.
I will murder you, your whole family, your kids. I am not supposed to be in jail. I was framed. That motherfucker asked me to eat his ass for a bag of coffee.
The guy that leaked that transcript, I think, emailed me and said, hey, I'm the guy that put that online. Do you want more court cases? The answer is, I don't know. Are any of them ever going to be that insane again? Probably not. So then the next one would be about a fender bender. Maybe it would be great. I don't know. The Carl's Jr. thing, Justin said, is it okay if we do this? And I was like, yeah, if you want to make Carl's Jr.'s ads, go ahead. And he did. There were all these notes going back and forth, and one of them was the burgers aren't allowed to say anything funny or something. I can't remember what it is, but if you watch the commercial and listen to what the burgers are saying, I think one of them is saying, like, I'm not funny, or I have no jokes.
Morty, wake up. We're in a Carl's Jr. Hardee's commercial right now. I'd like you to meet some characters. Thickburger El Diablo.
Rick, I don't want to be in a commercial. It's 4 in the morning. I got a big test tomorrow.
Too bad, Morty. I'd like you to meet All Natural Burger.
The introduction to the world of the word Schwifty.
You gotta get Schwifty. You gotta get Schwifty in here. It's time to get Schwifty.
Get Schwifty? What the hell is that?
It's our world's best effort, that's what.
The beginning of that story is Justin was doing voice work for a video game version of Rick and Morty. One of the items in that game is Summer's iPod. Justin, therefore, recorded, I think, 5 very improvised, like, free-flowing music tracks to be on Summer's iPod.
Huh? I wonder which one of these songs is going to be the most effective tool in which to wake him up with.
You gotta get Schwifty. Oh, yeah. Take off your pants and your panties.
Oh, those songs are horrible.
So those were on MP3s that I heard them, and for the next, like, several months, everyone kept saying to Justin, like, we have to do something with this stuff. And I think we just came up with the idea of, well, what if the whole episode was about music in some way? And I can't remember whose pitch the American Idol Planet idea was.
24 hours, 5 planets, 5 songs, but in the end, there can only be one planet music. All participation is involuntary. Disqualified and losing planets are disintegrated by plasma ray.
Truly, that episode was built around the excuse to do Get Schwifty. It was written backwards from the moment where they do Get Schwifty. Kind of a pickle.
I ain't worried about no Earth blowing up, man.
What? Why not?
Yo, this is why.
Yeah, there's a thing about the iced tea thing. I think I'm allowed to say this, and it's a good thing. There's a weird aspect to doing impressions of people, which is that if you just do it, it's okay because it's parody. But if you ask them to be on your show and they say no, and then you do an impression of them, it's called ripping them off, and they can sue you. I really want to say to Ice-T, like, who I know saw the episode because fans sent it to him, and he was like, man, these people are on drugs or whatever. Like, I think he liked it. I love Ice-T, and like, it would be a fantasy come true to like have him come and do Iced Tea or Water Tea or any other character. He could be vice president or whatever. Like, it would be great to work with him sometime. I love his voice. Like, that's why I do a dumb impression of it.
My story begins at the dawn of time in the faraway realm of Alphabetrium. There, every being is a letter of the alphabet, but I was frozen and exiled to the cosmos by my elders as punishment for not caring enough about anything.
Ice-T, this is my personal appeal to you. Please come do a voice for Rick and Morty. The surprise Season 3 April Fool's Day premiere. People had been waiting forever for the premiere of Rick and Morty. There was no date announced ever. And then on April Fool's Day, it started airing. Just the new episode of Rick and Morty with absolutely no promotion and no announcement, was just airing on Adult Swim. I think this is about the 3rd or 4th time that I heard an idea from Adult Swim leader Michael Azzo that I just thought, this is a horrible idea. But the previous 3 or 4 times that had happened, Lazo's always right. because for a year I had been suffering a lot of kids tweeting me going like, where's the new episode, where's the new season, and not being able to say anything. It did give me license for one. I got to pick one kid, waited like 5 minutes before the premiere, and he tweeted me and said, come on, where's the season? And I responded to him going like, what do you want me to do? Wave a magic wand and just make the premiere of Rick and Morty happen just because you asked? And knowing that he'd go, yeah, I do. And I'm like, all right, you get this one. Turn on your TV and let's not. I have a feeling that kid's going to grow up to be either president or a serial killer. The Goodbye Moonmen song. We created a character that was a gaseous cloud that would be named Fart, who's like an omnipotent kind of alchemical being. It was pretty standard story-breaking stuff. The whole writer's room coming up with the idea that if it engulfed you, it could get in your head, and that the way we would represent its friendship with Morty and bonding with him would be like a cool music video. Went from that to Cosmic, went from Cosmic to David Bowie. I think that's probably the 7th time David Bowie was asked to work on something that I'd ever worked on, because who wouldn't want David Bowie? And you just expect to know, and we got it and moved on. And that made me think of the Flight of the Conchords. They had their amazing David Bowie song where they did dueling Bowies in their thing, and it was like, let's get one of those guys to do it. That's pretty basic stuff.
Bowie's in space. Bowie, 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 Bowie.
Sitting down for this is the first time I heard of these covers of that song. So I'm actually really excited to go dig them up.
Do you want to watch one real quick with me?
Sure. I like that it's, what is it, Hombres Lunares? Is that the approximate pronunciation?
Hombres Lunares.
Hombres Lunares. That's such a way more beautiful title. And wait, it's a yeah. So is it? What is the full title?
Let me pull it up.
Arrivederci, Hombres Lunares. It would be a crime to not mention Ryan Elder, the composer of Rick and Morty. I mean, that's he creating music worth celebrating about the dumbest stuff in the world all the time. Evil Morty fan theories. I have never read a single one of them. I let fan theories trickle back to me because you've got a room full of writers, you chit-chat. There are people who are less afraid than me of going into the subreddit. So I sometimes things get back to me about like certain theories about Rick and Morty in general, and then I imagine there's a million Evil Morty theories. We have fan theories of our own in the writer's room. They're called ideas that go in a shoebox. Like, we have these discussions, right, but we don't decide anything that becomes canon until we have to. I don't consume Rick and Morty fan theories because that would be a bad idea. What if I saw a theory that was real? It would eliminate me being able to do something that I was cooking up, because I'd go, well, that person guessed it. And even worse, like, well, do you want me to steal your fan theory and use it as an idea? Wubba Lubba Dub Dub is a pretty funny origin. Rick goes into like a kind of like fourth wall breaking conniption fit, and he goes down to the ground and starts like hamming it up. Ryan Ridley had written into the script, Rick, parentheses, a la Curly. Whoop, 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 whoop. For you kids out there was this guy named Curly, and there was this thing called the Three Stooges. And it was like, there was this thing where Curly would like go down on the ground and like run in a circle on the ground in a clockwork fashion and go whoop, 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 whoop. So Ryan Ridley tried to represent that in text by typing whoop, 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 whoop. Maniac Justin Roiland, who may or may not have been drunk, or in any case is Justin. Like he's just riffing through the lines, and he read it as Wobble Lubba Dub Dub. which we thought was hysterical. And from there, it just became, it became the thing that he says.
You know what I'm talking about, Morty? Wobble, wobble, dub, dub. Morty. That's my catchphrase, remember?
It's a monument to catchphrases. We're part of the problem while pointing out that it's a problem. I don't know. What I'm the most proud of is something else that I think Ryan Ridley wrote, which was that's the follow-up to it, which is after Rick has now said wubble of a dub-dub a few times, is finding out in the finale of that season, according to Bird Person, that's Bird Person language for I am in great pain, please help me.
Have you seen that Google auto-corrects wubble of a dub-dub, translates it?
Or nice. Oh my god. Oh, wow.
So if you type in wobble of a dub-dub, you get...
Did you mean I am in great pain, please help me? That's insane. Can you explain to me, is that something that they intentionally did at the switchboard at Google, or is that the result of either there's like, oh, someone at Google is like a huge fan. That makes me go, I should tweet less, because when you have that much influence over the people that control the government, you should just hang back and I could why am I tweeting about my politics? I should sit in my bedroom and think about how to influence everyone.
I am in great pain. Please help me.
The videos that I see on YouTube, whether they're remixes or theories or analysis of stuff in Rick and Morty, it's amazing. I know it's a dumb meme. It's representative of a bad thing, but that meme of to be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. On one hand, that's emblematic of bad elements of fandom, but on the other hand, it does make me proud. It's a show that is clearly loved by, among many other people, some of the most creative, funny, smart people available to view your stuff. It makes you feel like you did something right. It's great. Thank you for watching those incredibly viral Rick and Mormons. Well, you didn't watch them. You watched me talk about them. Thank you for watching that. You actually are owed more gratitude for that, because how is it entertaining to watch someone talk about things that are entertaining? I digress. If you like the show, keep watching it. If you don't like the show, force yourself to keep watching it. Whether you watch the show or not, buy some of the merchandise. And if you make the show, share some of that merchandising money.